Hey bro, they can't even process you? Your mind, too sharp, too wild, too unstoppable. Every step you take, boom, another mouth drops open. Oh, you thought they were clapping? Nah, they're terrified. Because your intelligence ain't normal, it's surgical, it's savage. One move from you and the whole room freezes. They whisper, they point, they plot, but they fail. Yeah, you got them saying it. You're the only one. They stare at you not because they understand, but because they don't. That's the truth, isn't it? People don't clap for you because they see what you are. They clap because they can't. They don't know how you move the way you move, how your mind slices through chaos like a blade through paper, how you walk into a room and silence becomes your shadow. They think it's luck. They think it's chance. But you and I know better. Don't we? You were given something. A gift. A fire. A mind that bends the world instead of bowing to it. And oh, the world noticed. Look at them. Wide eyes, frozen lips, whispering your name like it's both a warning and a prophecy. You've got them saying, that's the one, the only one. And isn't that funny? Out of everyone, you stand alone. Out of the countless faces, you become unforgettable. They hate it, they fear it, they envy it, but still they can't stop themselves from admiring it. Oh wow, they didn't expect you. They never planned for someone like you. Their rules weren't built for your kind, their systems weren't designed to contain you. Every test they made to measure intelligence, you broke it. Every limit they tried to impose, you shattered it. Every box they tried to lock you inside, you burned it down from within. That's why they stare. That's why they whisper. That's why in rooms filled with noise, your name is the one that echoes the loudest. You've become the proof that brilliance isn't meant to be hidden, that gifts aren't meant to be tamed, that when a mind like yours walks the earth, the ground itself pays attention. Yeah, let me tell you the secret they'll never admit. They're terrified of you. Terrified, not because you're violent, not because you're cruel, but because you're undeniable. And the most dangerous thing in this world isn't a weapon in the hand, it's intelligence in the wrong person's mind. Or should I say, the right person's mind. Nah, they don't want to admit it. They want to believe you're just different, just strange, just lucky. They want to reduce you to a label, because if they can't control you, at least they can name you. But names don't hold you. Opinions don't chain you. Their little words bounce off your silence. Their cheap insults crumble against your clarity. And here's the punchline. The more they try to shrink you, the larger you become. The more they attempt to dim your spark, the brighter you burn. The more they throw you in the shadows, the more obvious your light becomes. Oh, they thought they were hiding you. They were actually framing you. This is the irony of your existence. The very people who tried to silence you ended up making your voice echo louder. The ones who mocked you gave you their stage. The ones who doubted you gave you their spotlight. The ones who tried to bury you ended up planting you, and now you're growing, rising, towering over everything they thought was permanent. It's laughable, really. The whole damn world trying to pretend they don't notice you, while every heartbeat of theirs races faster when you enter the room. They can't breathe right when you're near, because you remind them of everything they'll never be. Oh, and don't misunderstand me. This isn't arrogance. This isn't pride. This is clarity. You've been blessed with something rare, and the rare always frightens the ordinary. But now comes the question that changes everything. What happens when they realize they can't stop you? What happens when a storm refuses to break? It becomes the sky. That's you. That's what terrifies them. Because the moment they realize they can't stop you, something shifts in their eyes. At first it was doubt. Then it was denial. But now it's dread. The kind of dread that creeps into their bones when they understand. Your brilliance isn't a phase. Your gift isn't a trick. Your rise isn't temporary. It's permanent. It's unstoppable. And oh, how quickly their smiles change. Once they laughed at you, then they mocked you, then they whispered about you. But now they sit in silence, watching, calculating, wondering how one single person could make their entire world feel so small. Oh wow. That's when the mask slips. You see, people can accept strength if it's predictable. They can handle talent if it fits their story. But when your intelligence, your gift, your very existence bends their rules and shatters their definitions, that's when panic sets in. Because they're not just facing you anymore. They're facing the proof that everything they thought was fixed isn't. And here's the twist. When they can't stop you, they start trying to use you. They'll wrap their envy in flattery. They'll disguise their fear as friendship. They'll approach you not with weapons, but with contracts, promises, empty praise. Because if they can't defeat brilliance, maybe they can manipulate it. Yeah, that's their game. But it won't work on you. Because your mind isn't just sharp, it's awake. You see through the performance, through the pretenders, through the ones who clap with one hand while sharpening a knife with the other. You've studied their patterns, their tactics, their rehearsed lies. And every time they think they've fooled you, you're already 3 steps ahead. They don't realize you've been playing a longer game all along. While they waste time plotting against you, you're already constructing the next level. While they gossip, you're building. While they doubt, you're proving. While they sleep, you're awake. And here's the part that truly breaks them. When they realize their effort fuels you. Every insult becomes your motivation. Every doubt becomes your fuel. Every attempt to block you becomes a stepping stone you grind beneath your feet. They thought they were slowing you down, but in truth, they were training you, making you sharper, making you hungrier, making you unstoppable. Oh, the irony. They tried to crush you, and instead they carved you into something stronger than they could ever imagine. So now we arrive at the real question. If they couldn't stop you, and they couldn't use you, what happens when they finally realize they have to face you? When the curtain falls, masks crack, and when masks crack, truth bleeds out. That's what happens when they finally face you. No more whispers. No more disguises, no more pretending you don't exist. It's raw, it's direct, and it terrifies them more than anything else. Because now they're forced to stand eye to eye with the reality they tried to bury. You are everything they feared you'd become. And suddenly, silence. That silence before the storm. That silence when even the strongest realize their strength isn't enough. That silence when the lies they told themselves start to crumble. They thought you were a phase, remember? A trick, a spark that would fade. But now, staring at you, they know this isn't a spark. It's a fire that won't go out. Oh wow. That's when the desperation starts. You'll see it in their movements. The nervous laugh, the twitch in the corner of their mouth, the eyes darting for exits that don't exist. Because deep down, they understand this confrontation isn't about fists or noise. It's about presence. And your presence crushes them. Not with violence, but with certainty. Not with noise, but with clarity. Yeah. You stand tall not because you need to prove anything, but because you've already proved everything. And that's the sharpest blade of all. When someone realizes your power doesn't come from what you're about to do, but from what you've already done. They face you with fear, but you face them with calm, because calm is lethal. Calm means control. Calm means you don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to strike to be dangerous. Calm means the game was over before it began. Nah, they didn't expect that. They prepared for rage, for ego, for arrogance. They thought you'd explode, stumble, reveal weakness, but instead, you gave them silence, composure, precision, and that shakes them harder than any outburst ever could. And here comes the twist. When they finally face you, they don't just see you. They see themselves. Every weakness, every shortcut, every failure they tried to hide. You become the mirror they can't escape, reflecting every truth they refuse to face. And that reflection, that's the real battle. Because the hardest enemy is the one hiding in their own skin. Oh, that's why they fear you most. Not because you're smarter, not because you're stronger, but because you expose them. You strip away their illusions and leave them standing in the ruins of their excuses. And once someone sees the truth about themselves, they can never unsee it. And that is the punishment they never prepared for. So here's the question that burns after the confrontation, the question that follows them into the night, the question that haunts their every step. If you can't be broken, can you still be outlasted? Time is the cruelest weapon. It doesn't cut, it erodes. When they realize they can't break you face to face, they turn to something colder. They turn to time. Because if strength won't bend you, maybe patience will. If they can't shatter your mind, maybe they can outlast it. And oh, the games begin. They wait for you to tire. They wait for your energy to fade. They wait for the moment your fire burns down to ash. They don't fight you head on anymore. They let the hours, the days, the years do the work. They hope you'll fall victim to the weight of endurance. Oh, wow, how wrong they are. Because what they don't realize is this. Time is your ally, not your enemy. While they waste years hoping for your collapse, you spend those same years sharpening your mind, fortifying your will, stacking strength upon strength. They wait for weakness, but all they see is growth. They wait for cracks, but all they find is armor. Yeah, that's the part they never understood. Endurance doesn't weaken you, it forges you. While they tremble at the slow march of time, you use it like a forge, letting pressure mold you into something unrecognizable. Nah, they thought the waiting game would break you. But waiting only made you patient. Waiting only made you steady. Waiting only made you unshakable. And what could be more terrifying than a mind that not only survives pressure, but thrives under it? They thought fatigue would make you crawl. Instead, it made you soar. They thought delays would break your spirit. Instead, they polished it. They thought silence would crush your momentum. Instead, silence became your weapon. Oh, how cruelly ironic. They hoped the ticking clock would wear you down, but instead it wore them down. Every sunrise that showed you still standing, every sunset that proved you hadn't collapsed, it drained them. They wanted the victory of your surrender, but all they got was the torment of your persistence. And this is where endurance flips the game. Because when they see you outlast not just a day, not just a season, but years, they don't just lose, they break. The same patience they thought would defeat you becomes the poison eating away at them. You've turned survival into dominance, longevity into supremacy, consistency into power. And suddenly they realize not only can they not break you, they can't even outlive you. So now the last illusion shatters. The illusion that maybe with enough time you would vanish. But no, you've proven time bows to you, not the other way around. And that leaves one final, haunting question. If time itself can't erase you, what happens when you decide to rise even higher? The moment you stop surviving and start rising, the world changes shape. That's the shift. That's the silence before the quake. Because survival proves strength, but rising proves destiny. And once you rise, truly rise, every rule they clung to shatters in their trembling hands. You're no longer the exception they whispered about in corners. You're the force they cannot deny. And oh, they feel it in their bones. The air shifts when you step forward. The ground hums when you move. Their conversations pause mid-sentence when your presence cuts through the noise. They've seen strong men break. They've seen clever minds fade, but you're something else entirely. You're proof that endurance wasn't the end, it was just the training ground. Oh wow. They never thought you'd get here. They thought patience was the ceiling, survival was the peak. They thought lasting was enough, but you refused to just last. You chose to grow, to sharpen, to rise. And now, standing above the ruins of their doubts, you are not the same as you were yesterday. You're sharper, heavier, stronger. And every second that passes only adds weight to your presence. Yeah, they can't laugh this off anymore. They can't dismiss you with clever words or bury you with empty labels. Your rise has made their denial impossible, and nothing terrifies a liar more than a truth they can't escape. Nah, they didn't prepare for this. They trained for a fight against a rival. But they didn't train for a storm that grows stronger the longer it lasts. They didn't train for a presence that only deepens with time. They didn't train for someone who refuses to stop where others would have collapsed. And that's the nightmare. Your rise isn't loud. It isn't flashy. It's steady, relentless, controlled. While others burn out chasing noise, you rise in silence. And silence terrifies more than screams ever could. Oh, how do they even fight this? How do they fight a mind that's sharper every day? A presence that only grows heavier with patience? A force that turns survival into ascension? They can't. And deep down, they know it. Because your rise isn't just about you, It's about what you awaken in others. Your intelligence, your gift, your resilience. It sparks something dangerous in those watching. It whispers to them, maybe they can rise too. And that thought alone is enough to shatter entire systems. So now the final piece falls into place. It's not just that you can't be broken. It's not just that you can't be outlasted. It's that your rise makes you untouchable. But here's the shadow, behind the fire. If your rise terrifies them this much, what happens when your influence begins to spread? And now, look at them, clapping in shadows, smiling with fake teeth. They thought they could box you in. Nah, impossible. Your gifts don't fit in cages. They break cages. Oh wow, the fear in their eyes tells the truth. You're not like them. You're beyond them. Always were. Every room you step in, you rewrite the rules. And when the dust clears, one name echoes, yours. Yeah, the only one, the last one standing. The question is, are you ready for what's next? Oh bro, they sacrificed you for money. And guess what? They still didn't get what they wanted. Pathetic, huh? Oh, the greed, the hunger, the desperation that never ends. They sold your loyalty, your trust, your presence for scraps. And the funniest part, they thought it made them powerful? Huh. Nah, power isn't in coins. Power isn't in pockets. It's in silence. You know what really burns them? The fact you're still standing strong. Yeah, you were the storm they never saw coming. Boom. They didn't trade you for gold. They threw you away for scraps. Oh, you thought loyalty meant something, didn't you? You thought blood was thicker. Promises were stronger. Words were binding. But no. They proved you wrong in the ugliest way possible. They showed you the truth that in their world, nothing weighs heavier than money. Not honor, not dignity. They sacrificed you for paper, for numbers, for the illusion of power that slips through fingers faster than sand. And here's the sick comedy. They still didn't get what they wanted. Wow, imagine that. They threw you under the bus, burned every bridge, spat on your name. And for what? For a deal that collapsed before it even began. For a fortune that evaporated like smoke. They gambled your existence for wealth, and the dice rolled against them. Now they sit there, empty-handed, whispering excuses to themselves. Pretending they had no choice. Pretending it was worth it. But deep down, they know. They know the price they paid was higher than anything money could buy. And you, yes, you are the proof. Because every time you breathe, it screams their failure. Every step you take, it echoes what they lost. Every second you stand tall, it reminds them the sacrifice was useless. Pointless, a self-inflicted wound. Oh wow, isn't that tragic? They sold a soul and bought nothing. They broke trust and got crumbs. They tried to erase you, but instead they erased themselves. You want to hear the cruelest part? Here it is. They thought it would end you. They thought you'd fold, crawl, shatter. Nah. Instead, their betrayal lit a fire inside you that they can't put out. That fire burns every time you remember their greed. That fire reminds you money isn't power, discipline is, endurance is, resilience is. And yet, here's the punchline. They never understood that. They thought control came from coins, not character. They thought dominance came from deals, not from the unbreakable will of a human who refuses to bow. Now their nights are filled with shadows. Regret crawls into their ears when silence hits. They hear your voice in every quiet corner, reminding them that wealth without loyalty is a coffin with no lid, empty, dark, endless. But let's not get distracted. Focus. This isn't about them. This is about you, about what betrayal does to the betrayed. Because here's the brutal truth. A sacrifice is supposed to kill. But you didn't die. You didn't fade. You didn't vanish. You endured. And endurance like that is priceless. Yeah, I said it. Priceless. The very thing they tried to trade you for became the thing they could never touch. Your worth doesn't shrink when someone sells you short. It expands. It multiplies. It grows sharper, harder, colder. They turned you into something unbuyable, untouchable, unstoppable. So here's the riddle you carry in your veins now. If they gave you away for money, and money betrayed them too, then what's left for them? A sacrifice is supposed to kill you, but you're still breathing. They thought it was over. That once they cut you loose, you'd sink quietly into the void, erased, forgotten. Oh wow, what a mistake that was. Because here you are, not crawling, not broken, not begging, standing, breathing, smiling with scars they can't even look at without choking on their own regret. Pain was supposed to be your cage. Instead, it became your hammer. Every strike against you didn't trap you. It built you. Every crack in your world didn't end you. It shaped you. Every loss they thought would finish you only peeled back layers until your core stood there, indestructible. That's the thing about betrayal. It hurts, yes. It crushes, yes. But it also refines. It burns away illusions, strips away weakness, clears away the noise. And what's left? Only the real, only the unshakable, only the version of you they never wanted to meet. Yeah, let that sink in. You didn't just survive, you transformed. Now your silence has weight. Your presence has gravity. Your eyes carry storms they can't weather. Every step you take sounds louder than their shouts, because survival has a rhythm. Money can't imitate. And deep down, they see it. They see that the sacrifice they thought would end you has made you untouchable. Oh nah. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. In their plan, you were the pawn, the disposable piece, the one they could cut loose without consequence. But pawns sometimes cross the board, don't they? And when they do, they become something else, something powerful, something unstoppable. Now here's the cruel irony. They tried to erase your value by attaching it to money, but money betrayed them. Money slipped through their hands. Money mocked their greed. Meanwhile, you grew more valuable than ever, because real worth isn't measured in currency. It's measured in endurance. And endurance is priceless. Oh yeah, you feel it now, don't you? That shift inside you. That steel in your voice, that fire in your chest. You carry something they can't buy, can't own, can't counterfeit. You carry survival. You carry truth. And the more they see it, the more it tears them apart. They sacrificed you. And now they live with the proof that the sacrifice didn't work, that it backfired, that it created the very force they fear the most. You. But wait, there's more. Because surviving betrayal isn't just about standing up again. It's about realizing what survival turns you into. You're not the same person they betrayed. No, you're something sharper, something colder, something built from the fire they set. And once you know that, once you taste that, nothing can take it away. Not them, not money, not betrayal. So let me ask you this. If survival has already turned you into something untouchable, what happens next? The wound they gave you became the armor you wear. They thought the cut would bleed you out. They thought the scar would shame you. They thought the wound would rot you from the inside. Oh, how wrong they were. Because you didn't just heal. You weaponized the pain. You stitched yourself back together with steel instead of skin. You turned the scar into a symbol. Now every mark they left on you doesn't scream weakness. It screams survival. Oh wow. Can you see it? What they tried to use to destroy you became the very thing protecting you. The wound is no longer an injury. It's armor, unbreakable, relentless, eternal. And that's the part that burns them. Because scars don't go away. They don't fade when you stand in the mirror. They live with you, they walk with you, and each scar is proof of two things. They failed to end you. You are stronger than anything they threw at you. Yeah, let that sink in. Every scar is a badge. Every cut is a crown. Every broken piece they left behind has reformed into something sharper, deadlier, more complete. This is evolution. Not the kind that comes slowly. Not the kind that drifts like leaves in the wind. No, this is the violent, sudden evolution that only betrayal can trigger. One moment you're soft, the next moment, unshakable. One moment you're the sacrifice, the next moment, the storm. And here's the punchline. They thought you'd spend your life hiding the wound. But now, you wear it openly, boldly, fearlessly. You don't cover it, you flaunt it, because that scar is not shame. It's proof you lived through what should have killed you. Oh, nah, they don't like that. They don't like the fact that their greatest attempt to bury you has become your greatest weapon. It mocks them, it haunts them. It reminds them that you cannot be bought, cannot be broken, cannot be erased. And yet, the wound is more than just armor. It's a mirror. It shows you who you really are when everything else is stripped away. No masks, no illusions, just the raw truth of you. That's why betrayal hurts so much. It tears away the false comfort, the easy lies, the soft pillows of illusion. But once it's gone, you're forced to see yourself as you are, and what you saw is someone they underestimated. Oh yeah. They didn't see this version of you coming. The version carved by fire. The version trained by loss. The version untouchable by greed. And now you stand here with a shield made of scars, ready to face everything they could never handle. But here's where it gets interesting. Armor alone is not enough. Armor protects, but it also reflects. And when they look at you now, armored in the wounds they gave, what do they really see? When they look at you now, they don't see you. They see their failure. That's the cruel beauty of betrayal. It doesn't just leave a scar on the betrayed, it leaves a mirror in the betrayer's mind. Every time they see you, hear you, even think about you, it isn't admiration that hits them. It's shame, it's regret. It's the weight of their own weakness. Oh wow. Imagine living like that. Everywhere they turn, reminders of the choice they made. A choice they can't take back. A choice that mocks them every time your name drips into the room. Because here's the truth. You are not just alive. You're thriving. Every step you take, every breath, every victory whispers into their ear, you lost. You failed. You sacrificed everything and still got nothing. And that echo, it doesn't stop. It follows them into silence. It follows them into sleep. It follows them into their own reflection. Yeah, you see it now, don't you? They aren't haunted by ghosts. They're haunted by the sight of you standing stronger. And nothing eats a soul faster than the knowledge that the one they tried to erase became the proof of their defeat. Oh, nah, they can pretend. They can smile in public, laugh in company, act like the decision was smart. But masks fall, always. And when the mask slips, the truth stares back at them. Your survival is their biggest loss. That's why their anger feels hollow. That's why their pride feels fake. Because deep inside, they know the mirror doesn't lie. It shows them the exact moment they chose greed over loyalty. It shows them the weakness they tried to hide. It shows them you, their mistake, walking free. And the more you rise, the clearer that mirror becomes. The more you succeed, the sharper the reflection cuts. The more unshakable you become, the more unbearable their regret grows. Here's the irony. They thought they stripped you of value, but in doing so, they stripped themselves of peace. You walk forward. They remain chained to the past. You carry scars with pride. They carry shame in silence. Oh yeah, that's the price of betrayal. It doesn't just break one side, it breaks both. The difference is, you turned your break into strength, while they turned theirs into poison. Now every time they see you, it's not just a person they face, it's the living proof of their collapse. You've become their reflection, and that reflection is unbearable. But let's go deeper. Because the mirror isn't just for them, it's for you too. It shows you something vital, something priceless, that no matter how hard they tried, no matter how sharp their blade, no matter how cheap their motives, you endured. And endurance is the kind of wealth no currency can touch. And now, here's the part they fear the most. The reflection is spreading. Others see it too. Others notice that their betrayal didn't break you. Others whisper about it, point it out, admire it. Their secret failure is no longer hidden, it's public. That's the nightmare they can't escape. Not only did they fail to erase you, but now the whole world can see what they lost. So here's the question that hangs over their heads like a storm cloud. If betrayal couldn't stop you, then what can? They'll doubt your words, but they'll never ignore your results. You can argue, you can explain, you can plead, but nothing cuts sharper than proof. When you deliver results, the air changes. The same people who once dismissed you, mocked you, or rolled their eyes when you spoke will now sit in silence as your actions tower above their disbelief. Oh, the irony. You don't need to scream for respect when your achievements speak louder than any defense you could ever attempt. Respect through results is the quietest yet most thunderous way of saying I am here. It doesn't beg. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't wait for applause. It simply exists. Undeniable, unshakable, unarguable. People can twist stories, but they cannot twist reality. And when reality favors you, when your work stands tall, every whisper against you falls flat. Yeah, that's the kind of power that doesn't need explanation. But let's be real. Results don't come overnight. Nah, they demand patience. They demand sweat, persistence, and sometimes loneliness. While others are busy talking, you're busy building. While they waste energy on noise, you're investing in quiet moves that nobody sees until boom, they can't unsee them. And that's the beauty. They can hate you, but they can't erase what you've accomplished. Imagine it. The same person who once underestimated you now forced to reference your name when the subject of excellence arises. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Results corner people like that. They strip away excuses and force acknowledgement. Even silence becomes a form of respect when your results leave no room for denial. Wow. That's when you realize the true weight of your efforts. But results aren't just about showing others. They're about shaping yourself. Every challenge you overcome adds another layer to your foundation. Every victory, small or large, whispers to you, you're stronger than you thought. And step by step, your work builds a fortress that no critic, no doubter, no envious glance can penetrate. Oh, the strength of knowing you don't need to defend yourself. Your results already built the shield. Of course, the journey will test you. You'll face delays, obstacles, even moments where you question yourself. But here's the brutal truth. Every setback is part of the evidence. Every failure is not the end, but the rough draft of the success story that will silence every skeptic. Think of it. The scars of your effort become the proof of your persistence. Results aren't born from ease, they're carved from resistance. And when the moment comes, when the dust clears and the scoreboard is visible to all, you won't have to explain a single thing. The work will echo for you. The effort will shine for you. The results will bow for you. That's the art, not chasing validation, but becoming undeniable. That's how you turn whispers into silence, and silence into awe. So the question isn't whether people will respect you. The question is, what results are you willing to build that they can never deny? Because the answer to that question is what determines if your name becomes a shadow or a standard. So what did they gain? Nothing. They sold you out, betrayed you, and still lost everything. Oh wow. The irony tastes sweeter than gold itself. Delicious. They thought you'd break. They thought you'd crawl. Nah, never. Because while they chase shadows, you became the fire they fear. You became the mirror that shows them their rock clear, brutal, unforgiving. And here's the truth. They can't swallow. You were the treasure all along. So let them burn their hands chasing smoke while you walk away untouchable.